past weekend, the latest adaptation of the popular book series Diary of a Wimpy Kid landed on Disney+. So today I'm going to stop and rank all 5 Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies from the worst to the best. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Share your ranking of all 5 Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. My list isn't the right list. It's just my list, and I would love to see yours. As a point of reference, I haven't read any of the books. I wasn't particularly familiar with the source material, but over the last year, my 2 oldest kids have fallen in love with the book series. So when I told them there was a new movie coming out, they were so excited to check it out, and they were very excited for this particular set of movies because I made them wait until right before the movie's going to come out. We binged all 5 of them over the last couple of weeks, and they were so excited to check them out. So that was a big fun experience. While I might not be the target audience, my family as a whole probably is, and let's get started. In last place, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. After a 5-year absence, the franchise returned with everyone recast because obviously the kids would have aged a little bit too much, and the results were not good. Actually, the author of the books wrote the screenplay for this film, and for whatever reason, this movie just fails to capture the magic of the previous films. It doesn't have any of the heart. It goes for much more lowbrow humor. And so at the end of the day, it's just kind of off-putting. A big part of the problem here is all of the characters are written to be so selfish and stupid at the exact same time that you don't really want any of them to succeed because all of them are making such bad choices that of course are going to hurt the family dynamic on this trip, whether it's the mom setting rules without talking to anyone beforehand, the dad lying about doing work instead of just having a honest, direct conversation with his wife, all the kids are sneaking around behind their parents' back. Everyone is being awful, and so of course it's an unpleasant vacation. Add to that, the humor is, every single joke is just the lowest common denominator. It goes for the lowest common denominator. There's literally a sequence where Greg is in a bathroom while a grown man is pooping, and you're just, the punchline is you hear the plops. That's the joke. Someone is pooping, or a pig is pooping.
Oh, look how cute. The pig's better potty trained than you, Greg.
Or someone is vomiting. Everything, it's just body humor, scatological humor, and what makes the good Diary of the Wimpy Kid movies, in books I assume, good, is that at their core, they have some humanity to it, some central idea about important dynamics, whether with friends, brothers, siblings, parents, all that fun stuff. And that's just absent here. It's just a bunch of people behaving badly and selfishly and hijinks ensuing. And for whatever reason, the guy that wrote the books did not capture the magic of his own material when it came to this movie. So it is easily the worst of the bunch and the one that has the least to offer besides gross out jokes. In 4th place, Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2010, and there's a big gap between number 5 and number 4 on this list. Now, when it comes to this movie, it actually has a pretty good understanding of how middle schoolers work, which is they're still children, they're slowly becoming more grown up, and they're trying to transition into being teenagers, but they don't understand how all of it works yet.
I heard girls say that Bryce Anderson has a cute butt. There's Bryce, just be cool. Hey, Bryce.
Yeah, hey, Bryce. Cute butt.
And they're also very self-conscious. They're very much paying attention to what everyone else thinks about them without being aware of the fact that everyone else is thinking about themselves in actuality. And this movie captures that so well through the journey that Greg is on, trying to be as popular as he can be while staying friends with his best friend that actually cares about him, while making horrible, selfish choices all along the way. And that's the part that kind of pulls this one down for me, is that Greg is written to be so selfish and is unable to accept responsibility for his own choices, that it's tough to root for him because all of this is by his own fault. He keeps making bad choices. He doesn't own that he did something. He doesn't change his actions. He does not adjust to new information. He just keeps making selfish choice after selfish choice where he throws his friend under the bus and doesn't in any way consider his friend's feelings. And it's tough to care about what happens to someone that's being that awful to their own friend. Like I said, there's definitely some clever bits here. There's funny bits. I love that it is about the experience of being a sixth grader, and it gets that mindset, and at its core, it understands the dynamics of people that age. But Greg himself, our lead, our wimpy kid, is too selfish in this for me to have it higher up on the list. In third place, Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2021, or the animated one. And this film pulls from the same source material as the 2010 film. And so in a lot of ways, they are the same movie, but different at the same time. The novelty of it being animated, I think, does bring just something a little bit new to the table. I like this style of CGI animation that's meant to look like hand drawings, simplistic hand drawings. It's interesting looking to me. And the brief runtime, I mean, it's not even an hour long, I think makes the story move nice and quickly. It trims off all the fat and is able to focus in on the gags as well as the friendship, and it's effective enough at that. The reason I put this one actually above the 2010 film is because it just removes enough choices, bad choices that Greg made in the 2010 film, softens the edges of some other interactions in just enough ways that it makes it so Greg isn't just so aggressively selfish. And it adds a couple moments where Greg does something wrong and he pauses and reflects on it. The sequence where he breaks his friend's arm in the live action movie, Greg seems totally oblivious to the fact that he just did something terrible. Whereas in this one, as he slowly realizes, oh, I broke my friend's arm, that's something that bothers him and he knows he's in the wrong. And that just makes it a much more palatable film, much more consumable film with someone that you care a lot more about than the Greg of the live action film. So for that reason, I think this one, the novelty of it being live action, I wish they would have adapted something different though, because you've got 16 Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, and of all the stories they could have pulled from, they pulled all of these same exact stories, beats, images from the one that they adapted before.
You almost got the cheese touch.
And finally, don't get the cheese touch.
Fregley.
Wanna see my secret freckle?
Want to see my secret freckle?
We've seen it before, and that was just a weird direction to go. Our runner-up, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days. This time around, the focus is on Greg and his relationship with his dad, as well as what he does over the summertime. And I just thought this was a fun coming-of-age adventure about the misunderstandings between a son and his father, and how both of them can have trouble connecting with the other, and not because they don't like each other. Likewise, it dabbles a little bit in a romance going on, all with a bunch of hijinks at a country club taking place. So the good, fun aspects of this franchise, I think it's at its best when you're having those little immature adventures of the middle school age, while at the same time having a nice through line of emotion about the relationships that matter most in our lives. And in this one, finally the dad kind of gets to be much more front and center, and you get to understand him a little bit better. Each of them grow in their understanding of each other, but they also just grow as people by the end of the story. And it just leaves you on a positive, uplifting note. Now, of course, all along the way, Greg has his moments where he's clueless, oblivious. The dad makes some bad choices all along the way, but they're all in the right direction. Whereas, like I said, with the first live action film, Greg was selfish so much in the wrong direction. This is him fumbling his way forward, and so I just thought it had a nice little touches, and even it was fun to see was Peyton List, who showed up on Cobra Kai over the last couple years. Fun to see her in something when she was younger and playing a very nice, sweet character.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Holly.
As opposed to a very mean Cobra Kai kid. But in first place, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Rodrick Rules. Now this one keeps up all the mischievousness of the first film, all of the cluelessness of being a middle schooler and a teenager, but it makes everyone more likable. Instead of everyone being so selfish and mean-spirited, it just softens off those edges. Of course, Rodrick tries to get rid of his brother, but then when a couple of things change, suddenly you start to see a friendship form between these two brothers that have been at odds so much of the previous movie and a half, and it just gives it a much more pleasant vibe to it. It has, like, uplifting is not really the right word, but it makes you feel good when you see these two brothers that drive each other crazy, starting to get along, starting to work together, and doing things that helps the other person out. And likewise, based off the title, as you can imagine, Rodrick rules in this movie, as instead of just being the bully older brother, you get to know him a little bit better. He does nice things for Greg, and that just makes for a much more well-balanced character where you get all the mean moments, but you get the good moments too, the friendly moments, the funny moments. All of it is balanced out better, leading up to a final concert at the end where he's band Loaded Diaper sings that led to, for the last 2 weeks, my family, he just at random, someone will shout out Loaded Diaper in the tune. So without question, this was the one that I had the most fun with and was a huge improvement for me over the original one. Had all the stuff I liked about the first one, but much more likable characters, more funny moments, and hitting on more emotions. So for me, easily this one came in at number 1. If you enjoyed this video, I've got more like it. Check out that video right over there. I don't even know what YouTube is recommending to you right now. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much.